Welcome to Under the Fig Tree podcast. In today's episode, hosts Reverend Micah Glenn and Reverend Dr. Ben Haupt talk theology and life as they meditate under the fig tree.
What's up? Welcome back to another episode of Under the Fig Tree podcast. I am your host, Reverend Micah Glenn, Director of Recruitment here at Concordia Seminary. As always, well, at least for a little bit longer, joined by...
So far, as always.
Yeah, our highly esteemed co-host, Reverend Dr. Benjamin Derek Haupt. How are you today, bro?
Still not, but keep guessing.
Can
That's
I just...
good. Derek? I like Derek.
Derek's all right.
Yeah.
I do this thing during the introduction, and I do my hands like that. And today, I think for the very first time, I became a little self-conscious about it.
Huh.
And I started thinking, like, what are you doing with your hands? So that's why I keep having all these little glitchy pauses. There's the Matrix is...
You're good. You're good. You can pull it off much better than I can. If I was doing my hands like that, people would, I don't know, they would think it's weird.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're excited to have a host.
Guest.
A host.
Yeah, I passed it along.
Yeah. You just got promoted
You
from
didn't know.
guest to host.
That's really what's going on today.
Awesome.
Right?
I'm ready.
A guest with us today, Lydia Grabau. Great to have you with us.
Yeah, good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're excited to hear a little bit about your experience as a student here. And you have a family member who is also a student here. So we're going to shout out to him and we'll let you gloat a little bit over him because we've not had him on the podcast, at least not yet.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Currently, what do you do here at Concordia Seminary?
Yeah, I'm a first-year deaconess student, literally first semester, almost to a close as we're recording this anyways.
Yeah.
So it's new.
That's awesome.
And how's the year been so far?
Yeah. It's been better than I could have anticipated, honestly.
Sure.
This is second career for me.
Okay.
I graduated from college like 10 years ago, so I was a little unsure, like, what if I'm bad at school? What if I come back and everyone's like, you're old?
Not around here.
Not around here.
No.
No, I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, it's come back easier than I had hoped for. And I mean, the community is it's just a good place to be.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like first year seminary, even if like you're fresh out of college, I mean, it's going to be graduate school, so it's going to be a little new for everybody and kind of expectations, pace, and things like that. So I think the faculty does a great job of, especially in the first year coursework, because it's not like you're going to be mixed in with upper level seminarians just yet, of gradually stepping up the pace to insanity. And you got your feet wet now, drown in the books, drown in the papers. You'll come out stronger on the other side.
That's great. I'm looking forward to it.
That's awesome. And you're we just to get off track a little bit, because we do that often on the podcast.
I let her know.
We talk a lot about fashion and such, and you're rocking these pink glasses.
Thank you.
I just have to call them out. I like
Thank
them.
you.
The shape as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know you're a tennis shoe guy.
I am. Yep.
A sneaker fellow.
Yeah.
I think, as the youth call it.
The youths do call
Sneaker.
that. I call them sneakers as well. You said tennis shoes. I was gonna let it slide, but since you autocorrected,
Micah doesn't play a lot of tennis. At least I don't think.
I've tried.
Yeah.
It's just, well, you just got to play it. Just like all things, you got to play in practice. I'm the type of person, if I'm going to do a thing, I'm like all in and I want to be good and not just like kind of good. I want to beat the other people I'm playing with.
Yeah.
I just don't have time for tennis, but.
Tennis and Call of Duty, you can't do both of them. So you have to pick one, right?
You can. It's just managing your time. But you know what? While we're on the topic, me and Dorothy, we went to Topgolf not that long ago. And then recently her place of employment had a work party at a new putt place in the Loop, and we played. And if I had the time and money, I'd play golf.
Not me.
I've
been to Topgolf once. that was enough for the rest of my life.
Because you're not good, or just you just don't like it?
Yeah, because I'm not good.
Okay.
That's 100%
Just
the
grip
reason.
it and rip it, man.
100%.
Dorothy beat me most of like the games because of the score, because like
Right.
she was very good at hitting it exactly the same, and she'd always get into one of the targets, and she'd always score, and I'd try to like launch it to the net, and if you don't hit one of those targets,
Golf?
or
Are
the
you a
net.
golfer?
Not okay. Ball golf seems like a walk ruined to me,
Yeah.
but disc golf,
Oh,
I can get behind the disc golf.
yeah, that's fair.
I would
fair.
I would do that too.
I could probably get into disc golf more than trying to hit a little white ball around.
Yeah.
It's not for me.
I think golf
It's leave it on the tree 100%.
might be like the most difficult sport in the world.
And that's probably why I'm no
Like,
good at it.
I mean, somebody might dispute that, but it is a very tiny ball, and you are trying to hit it far and accurate, and it's shaped, the dynamic. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
And it's 100% all on you. You can't like blame it like, hey, that was a bad pass, or like, come on, man, I was open. It's like, oh, if you hit a ball and you hit it bad, one time when I hit a ball, I was playing in a scramble, and these two guys, they just insisted that they wanted to hit ahead, and I told them, I'm not very good, and that's a really bad idea. And they're like, oh, no, we're going to be way ahead. You'll be back there kind of chomping at it for a while. And so I gave it a good whack, and man,
hit him.
I did.
Nice. That's what they get for leaving you behind.
I didn't mean to. And I yelled for, but it hit him right on the calf. And I've never seen such a big red welt.
Yeah. That thing has to be clipping along, right?
I gave him a cold beer to treat his wound.
After this whole conversation, Ben, I actually found it a little surprising because you were a pastor in Boca Raton. Like, I feel like
I was.
Boca Raton, sorry.
Yeah.
And I feel like you had to play golf while you were there.
I did.
And you did.
Yeah.
And then you hit
and
somebody with
that's
a golf
why
ball.
I don't play anymore.
Well, look at that. We've gone from shoes to drowning in classes to glasses to golf. And so, Lydia, one question we like to ask all of our guests is, what led you to becoming a deaconess student on your way to becoming a deaconess serving the church?
It was a journey. I'll say that for sure. So my dad's a pastor. He went to seminary here. I was born on vicarage.
We have one of those.
Yep. Still occurring. And I grew up in the church, and people would always say, well, do you want to be a teacher? That's always what it is when you're a girl. It's not, do you want to be a pastor? It's, do you want to be a teacher? And I was like, no. Are you kidding me? I live with a church worker. I don't want that. That's not me. Not to mention, I don't necessarily fit like stereotypes of, what people think of when you think of, especially a female church worker, like pretty loud, rowdy person. And
Fantastic.
I'm with you. Yeah.
I love it.
Now I think it's a great reason to be in ministry because
right.
there are, people that see themselves reflected in like, oh, there's a place for you in the church.
Yeah.
Even if you're
Loud
a loud,
and rowdy.
opinionated person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I resisted it for a long time. I actually did my undergraduate in theater and English.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Fully intent on pursuing theatrical lighting design.
Oh, nice.
That was something that I was set up to go to graduate school for.
Where was undergrad?
Bethany Lutheran College, a little ELS college in Mankato.
Mankato.
Minnesota.
Mankato, that's the town. Yeah. Okay.
That's right. I'm amazed you know it.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law did his vicarage in Janesville, Minnesota.
No way.
Yeah, so then we went to the Mankato Mall while we were there. Because it's maybe 45 minutes away, 30 minutes?
From Janesville, probably 20, 15.
Oh, there we go.
I guess it depends on how fast you drive.
Well, it's also like my country time is off. From little town to slightly bigger village seems like an eternity. But I'm from the city, so.
No, I understand that because I feel like it's the inverse for me here because I grew up in like the Janesville area.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. Well, for most of my life anyways.
Oh, sure.
So very small town Minnesota.
It is a very small town.
And
Don't you know?
Don't you know? And, yeah, driving in the city now, it's like 2 miles takes 15 minutes.
It can.
Oh, yeah.
Buck
It can take
wild.
longer than that, yeah.
Right.
Depending on the wrong time of the day.
You know how fast I could do 2 miles in the country? My guy.
Right.
Exactly.
So English and theater,
Yeah.
that's the same that my wife studied
Hey.
in undergrad. So what are your favorite shows?
Boy, that's like picking a favorite child.
Fair.
It's
fair.
Hamlet.
Yeah. Oh, Hamlet.
Oh,
Wow. All right. You're a Shakespeare.
I have a
Fan.
special place in my heart for Hamlet because I worked on that as my senior project.
There you go.
Also did Peter Pan that year, and it was
Fun.
It was really beautiful. I was
Nice,
really proud of
nice.
it.
In a very
stuff.
classical way or in a very modern
It
way?
was, I would say that it was pretty modern. Our approach to it was, this is a family show, but to not like run from the darkness. Because if you read
oh,
J.M. Barrie's Peter Pan, like, it's scary. The
Yeah.
threat is real.
Right, right.
Hook is a scary man.
Yeah.
So kind of embracing both of those things. It was a very like whimsical, beautiful
Nice.
production.
Nice.
Yeah, it was fun.
Thoughts on the Robin Williams version?
Hook?
Yeah.
Oh, a classic.
Okay.
okay.
It's-
Yeah, thank you.
So important. That's like my whole childhood.
Yeah. All right,
The
good.
new creation in my mind is like the Lost Boys village in
Yes,
Hook.
yes.
That's what it's like.
That's awesome. Just
here
like
for it,
play. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
it. That's a really cool image.
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know how that would work on a paper, but try it. I think play is a very undervalued thing for a lot of Christians.
Yes.
A lot of Christians don't give play and leisure and just fun
Yeah.
its proper theological due.
Yeah, 100. Well, so after theater, then I ended up in summer camp in outdoor
Oh, nice.
ministry.
Oh, nice.
Where
So play is important.
Yeah.
I worked initially with Bethesda Lutheran Communities. Used to have a camp for adults with disabilities in
Yeah.
Wisconsin,
Yeah.
Camp Motts. So I worked there. That's actually why I decided to leave theater, because that was a very formative experience.
Oh yeah.
And my boss really spoke to my heart. My last summer there, he was like, "You should be doing this." And I was
Wow.
like, no, I couldn't. I already have grad school lined up. And then I was like, no, I should be doing that.
Sure.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. And then the past about 6 years, I was at Camp Omega in
yeah.
Minnesota.
Nice. When you were at Bethesda, did you know David Stevens?
Yes, I do.
He was a
Yeah.
classmate of mine. He's
Yeah.
now with the Lord.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, wonderful man.
Yeah.
And loved that ministry very much.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So then Camp Omega for 6 years.
Yep.
And what did you do at Camp Omega?
A variety of things. I moved back and was working actually in the school district as a paraprofessional for a while. But I just needed to be outside. I needed that play element that you don't even get in school. And so I started retreat hosting and then
Nice.
coordinating retreats and doing summer leadership. And 2 years later, I was like, oh, I'm working here full time.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
I have on my desk like a stack of paper this
Yeah.
thick. It's a study that somebody did as a Doctor of Ministry project on why Lutheran camps are phenomenal for helping to raise up future church workers.
Yeah.
And we have had, Micah and I have been to the Naloma conference.
Yeah.
We have a lot of friends in camp ministry. So that is, I think that is a field ripe for helping to raise up more church workers.
Yeah. I did the math a couple of years ago while I was still working full time for Camp Omega. And there was one class, my brother Ezra, I think it was the year that he was on vicarage. There were 10 people getting vicarage calls or calls into the ministry
Wow.
just from Camp Omega.
That's
and
crazy.
I was like, just kind of blown away by that. Yeah. most of those people, I think, would say that they ended up doing ministry because of their experience at camp.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a great, kind of internship. Try it out.
Yeah.
It's just fun to share your
Yeah.
faith with kids. That kids make sharing your faith easy and natural, and you see very quickly how I served 3 summers at Camp Luther Haven in northern Indiana, and you see how quickly you sharing just something from your life, something that you learned in reading the scriptures, something, just a simple word in Bible study or a simple encouragement, how radically, how radical it can change somebody's life. That's at camp. That's so cool.
And kids are curious. They haven't, most of them, haven't learned that you're not supposed to ask questions about. So getting to encourage that and develop that curiosity for scripture that's ultimately, I feel like actually what led me here was that's what I can't get enough of, is helping people find the answers in the Word.
That's so
It's
good.
so cool.
So was it while you were at Camp Omega that you finally said, okay, I've been kind of thinking about this for long enough.
Yeah.
I've maybe been like holding it off for a little bit, and now it's finally time to go all in and come to seminary.
Absolutely. I had applied because I had made friends with a deaconess, Katie Willman. What's up if you're watching?
There you go.
And before meeting her, I didn't even know what the diaconal ministry was. And I was like, oh, there's a church worker role for women. Mm-hmm. Awesome. I've been raised in the church and didn't know that. But that kind of put the bug in my ear. And then, I kept thinking about it. And what made me most excited about my work at camp was those faith formation things, spending time in the Word with kids and with the summer staff, developing those like college age Christians into leaders in the faith is so important and special. Like, I feel so blessed that I've gotten to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So I just kept thinking, I need to be doing this more.
Sure.
And I want to be better at it.
Yeah.
And where do you go to be better at it? You go to the seminary.
Right. Are there any deaconesses that serve at Naloma camps?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I don't know. I'd have to ask. I know that there is a young woman that has been serving at Wartburg that I believe is coming to our program in the fall.
Okay.
Sure.
Her name is Faith. She's been in like the pre-deaconess program, but I don't know. I'd have to. I mean, so as far as like trained called workers, because all the directors aren't, and I don't think that's a negative thing. It's just, but there are like some DCEs. I think.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of DCEs.
I think that's just so. When I did a year of the DCE program because I like working with youth.
Yeah.
I'm more like I like the middle school age.
Ugh.
That's
a sweet spot.
So my kids are now 7 to 10, and so a lot of the curiosity and things like that we're going through at home.
Yeah.
But now Johnny's 10, and they all ask deep questions, but like now his little brain is going, and he's like thinking of complex connections and stuff like that, and what he's experiencing in the world, and he's trying to measure it against what he believes. But those middles, just because of the questions, right?
Yeah.
And they're so awkward, and they have their awkward questions. If you're willing to be awkward with them a little bit, it just gives them that freedom. We're talking about deaconess. Oh, and because DCEs, like in the training, it's just like that's like the hyper focus of I think a lot of DCE training. You can specialize in different areas eventually, but early on, I think most people go into DCE church profession because of youth particularly.
Yep.
And you don't have to necessarily as a pastor or deaconess.
Right.
So is going back to camp kind of a possibility that you're thinking about?
Oh, always. Yeah. I feel like if I've learned anything in this life, it's God is the one in charge.
Yeah.
He's going to lead the way on
Right.
wherever we're going next. But absolutely, I still have a huge heart for that ministry. What happens in outdoor ministry is really special.
When I
That's
feel
awesome.
like it's also one of those things that's growing. I know that the Naloma camps are there,
Yeah.
but some of them are beginning to expand, and then there are other regions of the country where people are finding the value of having that type of space. And so if you're in a particular place and there is no camp close and you have to drive far, but you have partners that are willing to combine and do a thing, the opportunity, like I don't think there's no shortage of need is what I'm trying to get. I'm not saying that you might not be in a place where it might grow automatically, but I feel like a lot of summer camps do really well just because people are always looking for like that type of stuff to keep your kids busy, but also productive in the summer. It's just awesome.
Yeah.
I'm a big
ship
fan.
my kids out for, a summer or whatever.
I don't know.
No,
Dorothy wouldn't do the whole summer. She might do a
we
week.
wouldn't either. We wouldn't. I have a 7th grader and a high schooler, so
You're in prime time then
prime
to say.
time.
Johnny's
And
almost
they're
a little
great.
moody
They're great
preteen,
kids.
but he's getting there.
It's coming, man. It's coming. So tell us a little bit about your seminary experience. What's Sem been like?
It's been wild.
All right.
Good, in a good way.
Seminary is wild.
Seminary is
It's,
wild.
it's not boring in reading books. You won't drown in your papers, by the way. I was just making that up at the very beginning. It's a light coursework. Everybody can do it.
I do think that it is designed to ease you into it.
Yeah.
I will say, especially this first semester, you're doing introduction to everything.
Yep.
Which is also good because, I studied English and theater, which is not exactly pre-seminary stuff. I did a lot of reading, but that, it's not exactly the same as having that this theological, historical kind of background.
Yeah.
So I was really grateful that classes are very much designed to give you a pretty broad base to start off with. And the professors have just been so good about genuinely caring about you learning. That's not necessarily the case. I'm sure there are a lot of professors at other institutions that are I'm here to have my research funded so I can do my side papers, whatever.
Right.
But yeah, everyone here is truly an educator.
Yeah.
And that's come across in all these introductory courses. I feel like you get as much out of them as you want to, which is incredible.
It's a lot of reading, right?
It is. It's a fair amount of reading. I also work off campus and live off campus.
Oh, sure.
So managing those things, the class workload, your field experience in church outside, and then work on top of that. And I have a beautiful golden retriever who needs time and attention
Of
too.
course.
So yeah, all those things take focus to manage, but I don't know, it hasn't felt impossible.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about field work. So
Yeah.
Deaconesses, like our pastoral students, are assigned a congregation.
Yeah.
So tell us what the congregation's like and then what you do while you're there.
Yeah. So I'm actually in their urban ministry experience too. So I have my base congregation, Timothy, which is fun. I get to sit with Micah's family.
One day I'll be there. By the time this is airing, I'll still be finishing up my vacancy. Never mind.
Someday we'll go to church together.
Tonight I'll be.
Micah does go to church. I just want everybody to know that.
No, yeah. So
He's
Dorothy,
doing the Lord's work.
Yeah.
and the kids have been going to Timothy for some time now.
For a while.
I know when they started going there, but our audience knows. At least I've said a few times I'm doing a vacancy.
Yeah.
And it's coming to an end, which is bittersweet, but it'll be nice to be with my family on Sunday mornings again. But that's where you do your field work.
Yeah,
and
and
so thank you for helping Dorothy with the kids. They can
it's so fun though, honestly. It scratches my itch to be around kids, so I'm kind of grateful you're on vacancy. That I just every Sunday I get to talk to David. What you getting into, bud?
That's
What
a fun
you getting
conversation.
into. That's awesome.
It's always something. Yeah.
So what are your responsibilities while you're
Sure.
there?
Yeah. I mean, so everyone's fieldwork experience is different. Mine, Timothy is a pretty cool congregation in that it's very diverse. There's
Yeah.
a lot that happens in it.
Yeah.
So I get to participate in Bible studies of a pretty big range, honestly, like pretty much anything that I could think of wanting to kind of feel out at Timothy is an option. I get to like read lectionary from time to time. So
Nice.
obviously not doing liturgy. Don't want anyone to get any misconceptions about that. But yeah, I get to read scripture for church. Just really participate in the life of church, which Timothy's been a great place to be for that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
It's a very welcoming community.
Yep.
And I think, at least my experience when I was a field worker a few years ago,
Yeah.
was that the first semester, they're kind of also easing you in
Yeah.
at the congregation, and you're kind of getting to know people. You're kind of getting to know how things happen at this congregation, because
Yeah.
they're undoubtedly different than the congregation that you grew up in or the congregation you were in prior. And
Absolutely.
that as you go, you'll be put in charge of more and more things,
Yeah.
because they'll realize, oh, Lydia's, she's not just like straight out of college. She's got experience and she knows how to handle kids.
Yeah.
Let's throw her the kids.
No, it's been very interesting to, I meet with my fieldwork pastor and my DCE that's in the church full time. And they're like, oh, yeah, you have a background in disability ministry. We could do some stuff.
Yeah.
And that's great because I want that experience. I
Right.
want to dig into the community. But it's also fun to see like, oh, yeah, I like get to be helpful to you actually.
Yeah.
It's not just like here's a student that you have to deal with. Like, I get to help.
Right.
Which
No,
is
that's
good.
fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. So we've talked about seminary. We've talked about
Yeah.
field work. That's kind of all the academic-y kind of stuff. Tell us a little bit about like social life and just having fun. You evidently
Yeah.
like to have fun. So what is a first year seminarian, first year deaconess student? What do you do for fun? Have you made any friends?
Not a one.
No friends. I saw you talking to a big crowd of people. I get to watch the quad because my window looks out on the quad, so I get to see
All right.
students interacting with each other all the time. It was fun.
You're taking notes.
You were giving some guys a hard time, I think, the other day, which I really appreciated. So
It's good for 'em.
yeah.
I do think our role as women on campus is very sacred in that someone's got to keep the boys in line.
It's a big job.
Yeah,
it's a big job.
it
Yeah.
is.
Humble as well. Yes.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good for them to hear a voice of feminine reprimand
Yeah.
from time to
Yes,
time.
yes,
So
yes.
I do appreciate being able to bring that energy.
Yeah. Sometimes bringing a little bit of that's good.
Yeah. But no, social life on campus, I feel like is just, it's everything that I had hoped for. That this is a close-knit campus, and we have a lot of activities going on all of the time. Like the cookouts at the start of the year. I'm excited for them to start up
Come
again.
back, yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
It means warm weather. That's the
yeah,
first off. But also, it's a good time as well.
it's good. And I can bring Papaya, which is great. She just gets to run around and talk to all the boys that miss
I
their
wasn't
dogs.
sure that.
At first, I thought like the fruit papaya is what you were talking about.
Yeah,
which
no,
I
I'm really
love
excited
papaya,
to bring.
But I didn't know that your dog is
No,
also
my dog-
named Papaya. So
Yeah,
I thought she just likes to bring papaya to parties, which is, that's cool
That'd be
too.
all right.
Yeah.
Papaya. I love that.
Yeah.
That's a great
yeah.
name.
She's good. And she, grew up at summer camp, so she's like,
Oh, yeah.
crowds of people, let's go.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Seminary kids, okay.
So she's a golden retriever, in other words.
She is a golden retriever, yeah.
They love people. There's a reason why, that there's a form of the disc profile that instead of birds,
Yes.
it uses animals, and the dove is also known as the golden retriever.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Loves people, just loves to be around.
Yeah.
Always fun.
And she is that, yeah. But honestly, she's come to a lot of stuff, and it's just fun to see how people respond to a dog in a social space.
Yeah.
The like relief of like, there's an animal here.
Has she met any of the comfort dogs? Has she met Noah?
She hasn't met Noah in person. She smells him every single week
Right.
because I come home from petting
From-
Noah at
from
church.
Timothy, yeah,
And
yeah.
she's like, I know this dog.
Yeah.
No, someday they'll have to hang out.
Yeah, that's good. Because is it true that most comfort dogs are golden retrievers?
So the Comfort Dog organization, I think, is almost exclusively
Exclusively.
golden
Yeah,
retrievers.
that's what I was thinking.
But there are other therapy dog.
Right.
Right.
Other breeds that
Organization,
do.
yeah.
I've seen black
So-
labs as service
Yeah.
dogs, and
Yeah,
nice.
it's cool.
We have a poodle at home. She's precious to us. In the middle of the night last night, she thought that at 3:00 in the morning, it was time to play and get
Yeah.
up. And so my wife welcomed her up into our bed, which I'm not a huge fan of. And she comes up, and of course, she doesn't then sleep on my wife's side of the bed.
No, why should she do
She
that?
comes and flops down right on my legs. And
Yep.
I said, that's not even comfortable. Like, you're laying on my legs. And she just wanted to be close to me, I
Yeah,
guess. So,
that's dogs for you right
yeah.
there.
So we have Scruffy.
Yeah.
We're confident it's like a Borky. We adopted him from the APA, but like I've had larger dogs for most of my life.
Yeah.
But Scruffy's 25 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly happy with that because like if he jumps up on a chair and he can get between my legs and just
Yeah.
chill there and he's not taking up a bunch of space. We don't let him upstairs. I'm not gonna lie, but he's a little over a year now, but he's still very much a puppy when it comes to
Yeah.
life and likes to chew things that he's not supposed to chew and a little too much energy. But
It takes time to work that out for
he'll
sure.
get there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Seminary is a great place for dogs because there's
It
a
is.
place to run
Yep.
out on the field, down by Concordia Park, and people just enjoy having
Yeah.
dogs around.
It's been so nice. Also, sometimes I'll come onto campus and bring Papaya just to sprint around the field and then text, other seminarians like, do you need dog time?
Right.
Do you need a dog break?
Yeah. Yeah. A
'Cause-
comfort dog, an informal comfort dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how did she get her name Papaya?
Well, I knew I didn't want to give her like a human name at
Okay.
summer camp. You don't want kids going home and being like, Bernard jumped on me and licked my face.
Right,
like,
yeah.
no, who's this Bernard? No.
Right.
And there is a camp song that includes papayas in them.
Okay.
So I knew I wanted to be a food because food names I think are hilarious. Wanted it to kind of fit the summer camp vibe. And she's a very deep, like red golden retriever.
Okay.
So kind of fit
Yeah.
the color palette
Nice.
too.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's a good name to yell. I think that's important with a dog. Papaya.
Yeah.
Poppy.
There we go.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
good.
And it has that little snap to it.
Right.
Yeah.
I like it. I love papaya. The
fruit.
The fruit.
Yeah.
I like most all kinds of food, but
That's
papaya.
not true. Anyway.
Especially if it's not made in a factory. I like
okay,
almost
all right.
all foods.
The little qualifier that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm kind of snobby when it comes to processed foods, but papaya is. I lived in South Florida for a while, and there were some papaya trees where you could just go and cut a papaya off the
Yeah.
tree, and what an amazing thing.
I want to walk back just a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you were talking about balance, or at least you gave us an illustration that balance and stuff is needed.
Yeah.
And between school, work, coursework, field work, dog life, how do you find that balance, and how does it play out as a deacon, a student?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I feel very lucky. My off-campus job is with Stephen Ministries,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
which is wonderful because I'm doing stuff that matters.
Yeah.
Right. Great organization.
It's been really good, and they're just very understanding that I am first a student and then an employee.
Yeah.
So that's been really great. Honestly, I feel like working there and seeing their culture of understanding has made me respect myself and my own boundaries better.
That's good.
Yeah.
Like, I came in to work sick, and my boss was like, "What? Why are you here?"
Why are you here?
And I was like, "Oh, you're right." And I went home early, and they were like, "Yep, that's good."
Yeah.
So that's honestly, working there has taught me a lot in that regard. But I think there is something to be said for knowing yourself too, and knowing the ways that you recharge.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I do think that the seminary helps with that. Like, we go over the DISC assessment, and you learn a little bit about the way your personality works. But I think, like, knowing how you recharge is so critical for balancing all of those things. Because I feel like when I was in college, I'd just go and go and go until, like, I shut down.
Yeah.
I'd go on break and I'd, like, sleep for 15 hours a day. And my parents would just be like, "All right, bye, Lydia."
Yeah.
So it's good to know, like, okay, on weekends, I don't necessarily have to do every social activity offered. I don't have to say yes to everything.
Right.
I can choose to have, like, an afternoon with my dog on the couch. That's okay. And valuing that, like, that rest time is important. I think about it a lot for the future, for ministry too.
Yeah.
Because I lived with a dad that he worked hard. He was a dairy farmer growing up. So he didn't know the concept of taking a day off.
Sure.
And I think that wore out his body even. He has rheumatoid arthritis, and
This is all starting to hit a little too close to home.
sorry, Micah. Yeah.
Sounds very familiar.
Yeah. But, you
I
know,
wasn't a dairy farmer, though. Could have been.
could have been. I
Maybe.
believe in you. You can do it.
I probably could have done the work, but I
Yeah.
don't know if it's... Anyway.
You maybe wouldn't have liked the driving through the country is the problem.
Although...
You gotta love fields.
But I was going to say, like, the modern combine, I think I'd be perfectly fine. Because you just, like, set the GPS, right? You put your feet up, make sure you don't crash. And
Right. Turn on the air conditioning.
watch
and
some
the-
YouTube shorts. I'd be
Yeah.
right
yeah.
at home.
Turn on
inside
the
of that.
satellite.
Yeah. I'm sure there's nothing more involved than that.
Wi-Fi. I mean, some of these combines are crazy.
I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, well, that's like, so I disc wise. Oh, wait. You said owl. Are you a... No.
I'm a
dove.
parrot.
Oh, that's what, obviously. Exactly. But it's the same. You were talking about that. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Well, this is how I ended up in director of recruitment, personality wise. There's few positions at the seminary that I'm better fit for.
Yeah.
Just because I love people, love crowds.
Need to be around
love-
high school students and
Very extroverted. People always think like being extroverted means like being on a stage, and doing anything means like you charge up. It's like, no, it's still work, and it's still tiring. I just don't. I experienced it differently maybe than an introvert would.
Yeah.
But then graduate school, getting a PhD
Yeah.
on the executive committee for the Black Clergy Caucus of the LCMS, said yes to a vacancy despite my non-extroverted wife telling me not to. I used to be on the board of a charity, and people say, "Oh, you're good for this," or like, "You have a talent this way; it could help serve this way." And then they ask, and I say, "Yes." Yeah. And then, because you're right, like I don't need a bunch of alone time, but I found that alone time is okay.
Yeah. It's
And
critical.
and it's good for you. So I'm glad that you.
I'll take as much as I can get. Thanks.
Well, and just
I'm the introvert on the team. We have a lot of extroverts on our enrollment team.
yeah,
Which makes sense.
it's fairly critical for the job.
Yeah.
If you want to be as successful as we've been early on, I would say.
Yeah.
Like having that go-getter, very outward, let's do what it takes within reason type of mentalities
Right.
been beneficial. But early on in your seminary career, going into church work, while you have a personality that leans towards people,
Yeah.
being able to set up those boundaries. And I'm just trying to, anybody who's listening who's kind of geared that way, because it's a lesson that's taken me a long time to learn. And Dorothy and the kids, even like David keeps saying this thing to me and I don't really know how to take it, but he'll come up to me and he'll like be like, ask for something, he'll be like, well, normal dads do this. And I'm just like, what are you getting at here,
What
son?
does that mean?
When you've had enough conversations with David to know that like whatever he's thinking is deeper than what he's actually
I know what he's
saying.
doing. He's trying to get what he needs or what he wants.
Well, and then like it's like he's like
a smart kid.
It's like the youngest kid. It's like
Normal
man, like,
dads would get.
yeah, it's like well, like, and again, even if I didn't do the vacancy and stuff like that, weekends I'd have more time.
Yeah.
But like during the week, like it's like David, well, it's a school day. Like you got to do your homework. There's dinner and then there's bedtime. What are we doing here, son? But I think deep down inside for David, which I'm not angry at, it's just something that I think about. It's just saying he wants to spend more time with me. And then you start looking at all the other things. It's like, all right, so what do I need to do? Because again, you're talking about priority. Well, I talk about priorities, boundaries, and what vocation is higher up. Like, all right, what do I need to cut out to?
Yeah.
I don't want to say be a better dad. I'm not going to put myself down like to spend more time with David. And it's so fun. Like, even young, he'd want to go. The Naskers have a basketball hoop, and he'd ask me over and over and over again to go play basketball, and I'd go out there and he'd just shoot the ball for like 10 minutes. Be like, all right, let's go home.
Yeah.
And so he's not looking for hours.
Right? Yeah.
He's just looking like there's something he wants in the moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
And for him, I should drop everything for like those 5 to 10 minutes. And sometimes boundaries are important because again, like you might be asking me at a time where it's like, nah, David, like this is my time. Check back a little bit later. But all to say that I think that's good, and I think that's a great example. And I think I don't know what the current status of our students is because I don't spend a ton of time with students on campus, but it's just such a vital thing, whether you're a church worker or not. But that boundaries, lines in the sand are just critical to set up.
Yeah, and I think there has been a culture, like my parents' generation was very like you come last.
Sure.
Which
as a church worker.
Yeah. And I think that it's helpful to have a servant heart. I think that that's very important. But you can only serve from what you have to give. And if you're not replenishing that, if you're not staying refueled, then you're not going to serve and care for people as well.
Yeah, I think of the little phrase that Paul says to Timothy, a worker is worth his keep. That if you think about it this way, that a worker is worth investing in. A worker is worth feeding. She was kind of making a comparison between church workers and oxen, which is an interesting parallel or whatever. But I think he was thinking of them because they're workers, right?
Yeah.
And you don't muzzle the ox while it's plowing the field. You let it take a few nibbles every once in a while.
Yeah.
It's okay for church workers to be able to also feed on the word, have some Sabbath rest time. So it's scriptural.
Yeah.
We have to do it.
And I think that comes back to the concept of play too.
Yeah.
How important it is for us, even as adults, to find those ways to be like creative and to have fun.
Yeah.
To do recreation. I think that that's critical.
So give us some ideas. Let's expand this.
Yeah.
I love this topic. What are some fun ways that you play? What are some fun ways that you've seen your classmates engage in play while they've been here at the seminary?
I'm a big nerd.
Love
so
it.
One of my favorite ways to play is with friends. We play Dungeons and Dragons.
Sure.
My boys have a Dungeons and Dragons campaign going on right now with a bunch of their neighbors. And don't worry, for those of you that grew up in the 80s and think of Dungeons and Dragons and worshiping the devil, come to find out, I mean, I'm a theological professor. I've done the work. I would not let my children worship the devil.
Yeah.
And D&D it's not devil worship.
No,
it's
as it
actually
turns
really imaginative,
Yeah.
really collaborative. It doesn't involve screens.
No.
And that's one of the great joys of it, is that you're telling a story with your friends.
Yeah.
And I found it to be very therapeutic. I had spinal surgery back in August of 2019. And there was a period of time where I could hardly stand for like 30 minutes at a time. So that was what my friends did to help me kind of get through that season, was we played D&D over the phone.
I love it.
And that was huge for my mental health. I think that it saved my life.
Wow. Yeah. Because it's basically collaborative storytelling,
It is,
right?
Role
yeah.
play.
And you're experiencing a story.
Yeah.
And you have some agency. It's a little bit for if you grew up in the 70s and 80s, it's like choose your own adventure books.
Yes.
But way better. Right?
Oh, so much better.
Yeah.
Also because you have a friend that's kind of guiding the story, that's playing the dungeon master, the game master, they call it. And my youngest brother, who's actually in seminary at Fort Wayne, also won't be on this podcast.
Probably not.
So the boys can revel in the fact that their sister is here instead of them. That's great. He is our DM for our long running campaign with my friends, and he is really good at listening to where we're all at individually and kind of helping us process through stuff too.
Wow.
Just like some of the encounters we have, I'll be like, "Hey, bud,
Sure.
was that about me?" And he'll be like, "Maybe, yeah."
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's super
it's really cool.
Do you know the show Community?
Yeah.
Ben,
yep.
okay, I'm gonna let you do it. It's fine. Ben is stuck on Community in life right now, but it's fine.
That's the show that we've been watching as a family.
I'm gonna have to start watching it again now.
There's a character named Abed, and there are a couple of D&D episodes, and the episode where he plays like a troll or something, and there's conversations going back and forth. It's just classic. Maybe in one of the later seasons, because we're almost toward the end. So that's awesome. Yeah, classic. So D&D is a way to engage in some play.
Yeah.
Other ways that seminarians play.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of just getting outdoors.
Yep.
I think resetting, we do so much reading on
Right.
our laptops
Yep.
and writing on our laptops. So getting outside is crucial.
What is that like for those that maybe
Yeah.
haven't been to St. Louis and they just think, oh, St. Louis, it's in a big city. Is there anything to do outside in St. Louis?
I have been amazed at how much there is to do outside.
Yeah.
Like, and
Close and far to the
yes.
seminary.
Yeah. If you wanted to get away and spend a weekend in the woods, it's not.
Yeah, it's like 30
Out of-
minutes
yeah.
from here, maybe even 20.
Yeah.
Have you been to the sculpture park?
I drove past it the
Oh,
other day.
it's
And
so
I was like,
cool.
I need to
Good,
go
yeah,
hike
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
you got to go to the sculpture park.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a gigantic eyeball. It's just, I mean, like, don't you need to go and just see
Yeah.
an eyeball that's like I don't know.
It's massive, yeah.
30 or
Yeah.
40 foot tall?
It
30?
turns out you do need
30
to
maybe.
see
Yeah.
a big eyeball.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
like,
it's a big thing.
St. Louis County parks are subsidized, which includes Forest Park and the
Yeah.
zoo. So if you ever visit St. Louis and you're like, oh, they have a free zoo. Well,
You're
welcome.
Is Forest Park the largest metropolitan park in the country? I think it is. It's bigger than Central Park. I know that.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
Then
100%.
it
It's
could
bigger
be.
than Central Park.
I mean, it's one of those things where, like, if you go to the museums, both the history, art museum, and the zoo, and like all the muni, well, you're like on a quadrant of Forest Park. There's like a whole nother side of it.
I know that I haven't
You can
seen a
get
fraction
lost.
of it
Yeah.
yet. And there's like different like ecological systems even in it.
Right.
There's like a prairie section. I went and
Right.
I was like, I'm home.
Yeah.
During the summer in particular, we do the Naturescape walk. There's so much stuff. But we also, I mean, and we're just talking about Forest Park, but now Lohmeyer, all those places. I like Castlewood.
Okay.
You can do either side of the Missouri River. There's cliffs and things like that. It's beautiful. Especially during COVID, we kind of stepped it up. We might be lacking a little bit now, but when you couldn't go anywhere, we just went hiking with the kids and on different adventures, and
It's so good.
yeah.
There's a bunch of state parks within an hour or so drive.
Yeah.
And I've camped at
Mark Twain.
Merrimack, Mark Twain, Quiver River. A lot of good parks.
If you're a kayaker,
Yeah.
there's river systems. It's one of those things where St. Louis is a city, but like you said, it's the Midwest. There's not another
options.
big city too close to us.
We never know exactly how each episode of this podcast is going to develop, but this episode has quickly developed into like, come play in St. Louis.
Honestly, please do.
Legit?
Right? The theological basis of play and all these practical. It's been a lot of fun.
It's one of those things that, and I might have said this before, but I grew up here for most of my life. My dad's from North St. Louis City. My mom's from out west in a town called St. James. And so when my dad retired from the Marine Corps, we ended up in the county. And I went to a local Lutheran high school. I started college here. And then with few exceptions, since I was 11, I've lived in St. Louis. So I lived in Chicago for a couple of years. We did West Fieldhouse for a year, and I did my vicarage in Alabama. And so, like, you're doing this, and you're like, oh, man, like, I've been in St. Louis. I'm ready for a new adventure. Because, like, when my dad was in the Marine Corps, I lived in Hawaii twice and Beaufort, South Carolina. So it's like, we want these different adventures. But once we came back, and then we were called here, and then called here, and then called here, and start raising a family in St. Louis, you begin to appreciate not only the cost of living to raise a family here, comparatively, it's not bad.
I was surprised, honestly,
and to
looking for apartments.
And to send them to a Lutheran elementary school and all that stuff, it's all very doable and very affordable. But then also the play is available, and you can spend a ton of money if you really want to. We used to be like the parents. We'd go to the zoo anytime they ask for nothing. Like, the zoo is free. We're not paying for nothing.
Yeah.
Well, now, like, they have cups that we can take and get discounted frozen drinks. Anything to make the day and not complaining.
Yeah.
We 100% do. Our kids are spoiled. But even then, you're not, like, breaking the bank doing that type of stuff. It's so doable. And as an adult even,
there is
a ton
so
of stuff to do.
much. So much. City Museum.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about play in St. Louis. Let's go.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Get your knee pads
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
I'm the old guy that was like, yes, I will buy some knee pads. Did you see that? That they actually sell knee pads in their gift store, and I needed them because you're down crawling.
You're literally crawling around.
100%.
But
I got stuck at one point under, like, there was a whale, and it feels a little bit like a dream.
Yeah.
It is a surreal experience.
It is a surreal
that's
experience.
For sure.
You're crawling out on a school bus and
big slides.
Yeah,
I love it. It's good stuff.
It's cool.
Lots of good places to play in St. Louis. Well, we have this next segment on the podcast called Ripe for the Picking or Leave It on the Tree. My first one is Ripe for the Picking or Leave It on the Tree, the song Auld Lang Syne, which plays Should Old Acquaintance Be Forgot, and
Yeah.
Days of da 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 da
I know
da
the
da,
tune.
and Days of Auld Lang Syne.
What a wild pull.
Sorry, it's what you get for the New Year's.
Yeah. I think just because you couldn't remember the words, I sure can't fill those in. I feel like it's Leave It on the Tree. If you don't know the words to the song.
That's fair. Yeah,
That's fair.
It has some good memories for me.
Sure.
From two, not really personally, but just media that I've consumed. So it features importantly, or at least it's somewhat in the movie Forrest Gump,
Classic.
which I absolutely love. Might be my favorite movie of all times.
That's fair.
And
it's a good one.
and a singer named Sufjan Stevens sings a version of it. Do you know Sufjan Stevens
I know Sufjan Stevens.
personally?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh man,
He's my best friend. No.
Sufjan Stevens. No,
I feel like I know him
Right?
because I've listened to his. He's like a desert island pick
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah,
Like if
that's awesome. I just was on a big road trip with the team, and I said, all right, to start out the road trip, we're going to listen to. We had talked about I'm a Christmas Unicorn on an earlier episode of this podcast,
Yeah.
and so I wanted them to listen to this song, and I felt like they didn't appreciate it as much as
possible.
Have you read the liner notes to that album?
I have not. No.
His description in the liner notes of the meaning of I'm a Christmas Unicorn is absolute genius.
I mean, everything he writes, there's so much depth to it.
Yeah.
Could. Yeah, he's a desert island pick for sure.
That's awesome.
Because you could just keep unpacking stuff.
So, Auld Lang Syne, right for me.
Sure. The actual tune, I don't know, but Dorothy brought into my life. At the turn of the millennia, there was like a British artist. I can't remember his name, but if you just YouTube the Lord's Prayer and New Year's song, even, like he does the Lord's Prayer to the tune of Auld Lang Syne.
Oh.
And Dorothy began singing, like she sung to all of our kids when she would put them to bed,
Yeah.
and she would sing the Lord's Prayer to that tune.
Huh.
And so it is a part
can't-
of our it's like embedded into our family. And for a fact, because of it being at the turn of the millennia and the tune, in 2000, I'm pretty sure it like even lived on the charts as like the #1 song. So at least for a blip in history, the Lord's Prayer was like the number
That's so
one
cool.
song on the charts,
Huh.
at least in British
I've never heard
charts.
it, but
But now you're gonna YouTube it. You can't. It's good, right? It's a little catchy.
we'll see.
way to
We'll
learn
see.
Lord's Prayer.
I'll let you know my opinion next.
I think
next
you'll appreciate it.
episode.
All right. Right for the picking or leave it on the tree.
Okay.
Cold pizza.
Oh, ripe for the picking. That's breakfast, baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to surprise you here.
All right.
As long as
cheese.
as long as it has vegan cheese on it, it's absolutely ripe for the picking for me. I'm very lactose intolerant. So just regular cold pizza, I can't touch it. But yeah, like Pie Pizzeria, if we get Pie Pizzeria or Mod Pizza, yeah, I'm all about cold pizza. Love it.
Yeah. Cold pizza is good to me too. Like, I mean, well, because heating it up, depending on how you heat it up,
Sometimes ruins it.
Oh,
it
makes
can.
it so.
It can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It's not the move.
I still haven't done it yet, and I don't know why, but I hear like doing it on like a Weber or something like that brings it back to life the right way. Because well, anyway, I'm gonna try it and I'll let you know.
If you have it on a stone.
Oh, well, yeah, definitely not right over a
Yeah,
fire.
yeah,
No, you're gonna
right.
burn the
Right, the crust.
real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like cold pizza. But as you were talking about vegan cheese, not that long ago, Cheryl, my mother-in-law, was in town and she went to Seeds and got a pizza from Seeds. And I don't know if she knew it was a vegan place. Maybe she did. But I just saw like pizza, like pepperoni pizza at my house. So I ate a slice and she was like, "What'd you think about it?" I was like, "Oh, it was all right." And she's like, "It's all vegan, the cheese and the pepperoni and everything." And I was a little disappointed that I was
Boom.
I like
Couldn't tell.
so
Seeds is phenomenal.
It is very good. I will say this because she was asking about it. Like I really like the crust and I really like the sauce. And I remember the cheese being a little strange, but I was like, it's cold. Maybe that's the reason why it's strange. And then I didn't even put my mind to the pepperoni. Like it wasn't all on. It wasn't like, but
Sure.
But it was just fine.
I will say vegan cheese does have the texture is a little bit different for sure.
Yeah. It doesn't melt the same.
It doesn't melt the same.
Okay.
And they've been trying, Daya has a pretty decent version. There's still more work to be done on vegan cheese. But
in a world where we
I'm here
can't
for it.
eat animals anymore, I'd live because I'm a survivor. But
I don't know that I would survive without meat. I'm not willing to give up meat.
I said in a world where we just don't like. I'm not going to
You
give it up
can't
if it's available.
consume
But if
animals,
it's just not if something goes wrong in the world,
Yeah.
maybe Jesus will come back the next day.
Maybe.
Or maybe probably come back before that. But
All right,
see.
ripe for the picking or leave it on the tree. The glasses that you wear at New Year's that are like the 2000, they use like whatever year they have, and then they make glasses out of them. It started with the year 2000, and since then they've just been making like the 2023 glasses where you're wearing 23.
And they make less and less sense with each passing
Right,
year because
right.
it's like there's
Doesn't
one
make-
circle.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
it.
right.
Oh man. See, I'm a glasses all the time person.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm leave it on the tree just because.
No other
Are
glasses.
you gonna put them over these frames? No, come on.
That's fair actually.
Yeah, it's leave it on the tree for me too.
Yeah.
Most of that stuff, like I would to celebrate, I'd have a nice glass of champagne. I'd even have some sparkling grape juice or whatever. If the kids were having something like that, sparkling apple juice, that's about as much. I don't do like all the kazoos and horns and all that goofiness. Yeah, that's all. Leave it on the tree.
I
for
think
me.
it depends on the community you're in.
Yeah.
Like I could do a kazoo with the right people,
Right.
but
It's been a very long time since I've gotten into blowing a kazoo.
And that's the only reason why I'm gonna say leave it on the tree, just because I feel like the last time I was awake for New Year's was because I was finishing PhD coursework,
Yeah.
and anyway. But other than that, like since I've been like, if I make it to 10 p.m. on New Year's,
Right.
I've done it. Like, and with kids, like we don't go to like New Year's parties or anything like that. Like now that I'm even like down in the future when our kids are old enough, I don't know if I'll ever get back into New Year's Eve parties.
Yeah.
So it's like some finger foods, a couple of drinks. I think Johnny said he wants to stay up till New Year's this year. Go for it, kid.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
think I'm gonna make it, but yeah, I'll leave it on the tree just because of that. It's just New Year. It's just not.
Because there's only a certain time window where you can really wear those glasses, and it's for like 30 minutes
Well,
right before.
And well, here's the other thing. I feel like in order to do that, you just probably have a couple cocktails.
Maybe.
Well, and I had a couple the other week when we were on our trip. I think I just need to stick to one from now on. Two is.
You didn't wear glasses that I remember.
Well, you know what? No,
you missed that part
Yeah,
of it. You mean?
exactly. No. I'm just such a lightweight. Well, anyway, so
There are worse things to be though. That's
No, yeah, I'm not even sad about it. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Right for the picking or leave it on the tree.
Yeah.
Amazon's deals of the day.
Do we need to give Amazon any more money?
Amen.
you don't
This is
need
my
to.
problem.
Okay, fair
Like,
enough.
do I shop Amazon? Absolutely. I just bought a hot glue gun.
Too convenient.
You
huh?
There you go.
needed
I
it.
know, right?
But yeah, no, it's not for me.
Yeah. Leave it on the tree.
Yeah, I knew Ben was leaving on the tree.
Yeah.
I've asked
I don't
this
buy
before.
stupid stuff. So
I do buy stupid
deal
stuff.
of the day is like, it's just for stuff that you don't really need and you just impulsively like smash by it.
That's not true. There could be something on there that's on your list of things to buy, and now it's for a great price. You say that, but now we've talked about building a PC. Now, what if they had the like, top of the line graphics card on there half off? You'd buy something stupid.
No, I
or
wouldn't.
you just go to the store and pay full price for it.
No,
Because that sounds, if you could buy a half price, it's stupid to pay full price.
The only time that I would do a deal of the day is if I had set out and said, like, I need to buy this. And then I was waiting for it to come on sale. But I wouldn't be just scrolling through and thinking, hey, I was thinking that maybe I would buy that. Now is the day that I'm definitely going to buy that. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I don't think I do that either. Like, I would pass on that if it's something I might want. But if there's something that is on my list of things to get, like, you know, again, when it comes to priorities, like just thinking about paying for kids to go to school. Like, I can't always just impulse buy things. But, like, if I'm on the deals of the day and something that's not towards the top, but definitely not towards the end. Because if it's at the bottom of the priority list, do I actually even want it? Well, probably not.
Yeah.
If it's like mid and it's a good price, yeah, I'll buy it. Yeah. And it's something useful. So it doesn't have to be a stupid impulse buy.
See, I don't want to knock stupid impulse buys either because
I do that too. But.
And some of them are my favorite things in my home. So
Well, not only that, I've gotten into like woodworking at home and tools.
Yeah.
When they're the deals, like when the tools are tools are very expensive.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so if you can get any discount on a tool, I check Home Depot every day. I don't always buy because it's like, like this table saw is $200 off, but it's still $300. I can't explain that very easily to Dorothy, and I'm not that great of a woodworker to justify it. So I just look.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right.
I'm a window shopper too, by the way.
Oh, me too.
Why not?
Absolutely.
It's fun.
100.
Ben's not.
No.
Yeah.
I'm very decisive, determined. I don't.
This is the biggest gap between me and Ben right here.
All right, so last one for me, kind of an off-the-wall one, but I've been on some flights recently, and so I was thinking about this the other day. Snacks on a flight, like the little bag of, they used to give out peanuts. They can't do that anymore because of peanut allergies, so then it became pretzels, or Southwest has this snack mix, ripe for the picking, leave it on the tree.
Ripe for the picking. Free food all day. Every once in a while, you'll get like the little Lorna Doone cookies, a Stroop waffle on a great day.
Stroop waffle. I was just about to say that. You hit the nail on the head.
I love it.
Not on Southwest, but like on like United or American or something like that.
That's fair. I had forgotten about cookies. The Biscoff cookies I will always eat because they are good, they're tasty, and they don't have any milk in them. The snack mix from Southwest, I'm just kind of over it. I just pass now when they offer it to me. There's all these Cheez-Its, and so I have to leave all those out. And then you end up with like a little small handful of, I don't know. It's just not for me.
See, I'm one of those middle of 5 kids, 3 brothers.
Oh, sure.
I will eat the little schnibbly bits left over in your hand because I'm just glad to have it.
Sure, fair enough. I think I've kind of gotten to the place in my life where I'm so picky that I just bring my own snack.
Well, and that's the other piece of it. You're never going to catch me on a plane without an entire pack of granola bars in my bag. So
for sure.
A prepared camp counselor, right?
That's true.
Yeah. It's right for the pig and for me. I love snack mix.
Okay.
Like as you said that my niece is a Girl Scout and they had a sale and there's some hot Cajun snack mix at my house. Now I'm calling my name. I'm gonna go. Like sesame sticks in
I do like sesame sticks, but there's not sesame sticks
there's not,
in the
but
Southwest
like
mix. There are those like itty bitty little things that are trying to be like rye crackers, but they're not.
Trying to be rye crackers.
I like
the pretzels are kind of too small. I don't know. It's just not for me. I try to be really opinionated about really dumb stuff.
No, it's an energy I appreciate. Yeah, it's good.
I'll say this though. I always plan for flights because I travel a lot for work and I have graduate school and other stuff. I'm like, I'm gonna read this book. I'll get on a plane and before we taxi, I fall asleep.
Yep, 100%.
And
me too.
My only goal is to wake up before they come with the drinks. because there's nothing
And
worse.
sometimes I just pass on that too. I'm
But
just
like,
like,
it's the air is so dry. Like
Ginger
I always,
ale?
Oh, yeah, I gotta-
it's 100% ginger ale.
No,
The
I'm a-
airplane ginger ale?
I'm 100%.
It tastes better at 20,000
water.
feet. Tiny can
Water
or something?
only. Water only for me on flights.
Oh.
And so yeah, I have my bottle of water that I emptied out before I went through security.
The altitude
Fill it
makes
up.
it more crisp. I
Yeah.
don't know if it does or not, but but like I always have water just because of that. But like if I fall asleep and then they've come by with the drinks, like it's just so dry.
Yeah.
Like depending on how long the flight is, it's gonna be rough.
Just go back in the back and ask for a can of water.
You know,
That's how I roll.
It is like it feels intrusive.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have the audacity. I don't know if I would
really?
have the courage.
Oh, I always.
Hi, I'd like water. No, I think I'd shrivel up. I think
my
I'd just like
gosh.
wait for death.
Depending on I'll definitely ring it and be like, can I have a drink? So
Oh, I would never ring it.
no?
I would never be like, you must come to
That
me.
is.
I'd like get up.
Is that what the button
and,
says?
right? Yeah. It's like, oh no, stop everything you're doing. I have a problem.
I mean, I don't want to say it's their
I go
job,
back into the
but,
back.
like,
They're
it's
in
also-
the back. They're hanging out. And I'm like, hey, can I grab a can of water? And they're like, oh, yeah, no problem. And they grab it for me. And it's like right there. And they keep on their conversation. And they got my water. It's good.
But see, this is why I don't like to do that. Because
Yeah.
like that's their space away from us.
Yeah.
And the button, like I haven't gone to their space.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they've the right protocol.
I think
They've
I'm with you on
finished.
that, Micah.
They've finished rolling their eyes and thinking, "Oh, for crying out loud, what is it that he needs now?" By the time they've gotten to you, and they're like, "Oh yes."
I don't know.
What do
No,
you need, sir?
I'm
I feel like
perfectly
that's
fine
the
with that,
social
though.
construct for it, though, is like, hey, this is the way that you do it. I understand. I think it would feel intrusive. Like, you don't like walk behind the bar at a coffee shop and go, hey, can you stop what you're doing and hand me a glass of water?
Yeah.
I would
I
never.
guess I do.
Well, we've all learned something new today.
I guess I'm that guy.
That's interesting. But like as you said it though, it's like what's better, the servant bell, or like
Well,
getting
yeah,
up
when
and
you
walking down
call
the
it the
Sorry
servant
to, sorry to interrupt your conversation. Or hey, I'm going to interrupt your conversation. I'm going to make you walk to me.
Yeah. I
I can't be bothered to walk to you.
I'm gonna give it a try and see how
Yeah.
see how it feels.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
all right.
I've even asked for a can of water getting on the plane.
Oh, that's crazy.
No worries.
So
Don't
many,
give me
I'm
a
trying
can
to
of water.
decide if that feels better or worse.
That's so
than
much
walking
worse,
back
like-
to their space.
just because there's so much going on with
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
so much going on. And sometimes they've said, like, oh, sorry, I can't.
Like
okay,
like in their mind, they're like, "Sir, go sit down and be quiet."
maybe.
At least that's how I would feel. I was gonna say an explicit, but go sit your A down, like, and stop asking for water as you get on the plane. You should have like went to the fountain. Anyway, that one's crazy. The going to the back of the plane, it's less crazy.
All right.
It might be read better than ringing the bell. I'm gonna give it a go. I have a lot of flights coming up at the
That generated a fair amount of conversation.
Yeah,
my,
it really
my
did.
little conversation about
snack mix.
All right.
All right, last one. This is less exciting. I know where Ben's gonna go. Actually, I don't know because sometimes right for the picking or leave it on the treat, like Borson spreadable goat cheese.
What's Borsons?
That's all right. All right, you don't
Right.
even know what it is. All right.
I like
It's a
goat
brand.
cheese. Great.
It's just like a Borson is Boursin.
Okay.
It's just like a brand of.
Is this like
spreadable cheese.
Baby Bell?
It's not Baby Bells. No.
But it's something like
it's
that.
packaged like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like packaged up.
Okay.
And like it's just spreadable goat cheese, different flavors. Borson could be like a brand. I don't know. I think we always get it from Aldi.
I love Aldi. Hey, look, you sold me with Aldi goat cheese.
All right.
So
Perfect
sure,
with crackers.
yeah,
Yeah,
great.
it's nice.
Hey, also it's food. Yeah, I'm in. Let's go.
Got it.
Sounds like a card game, right? Aldi goat cheese pizza. Do you know Taco Cat goat cheese pizza? Do you know
yeah.
that game?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
I
game.
don't. That's all right.
Yeah, it's absolutely leave it on the tree for me. I can't touch goat cheese. It's full
Really?
of lactose
Is
too.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Because some people can do like.
Any soft cheese is 100% no for me. I can do like Parmesan, a
'cause
little
of
bit of
the-
Parmesan, like if it's cut off a hunk.
So, and just to clarify, you're not the kind of lactose-free person that you're like, I'm going to risk it all for Pizza Ranch right now.
Oh, no, never. I ended up at the hospital one time.
Yikes.
Like,
That's so fair.
yeah. Yeah, it's not like, oh, it's not, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? It's like, no, 100% I'm not touching that.
That's good.
But a little bit of hard cheese, I'm okay with. But soft cheese, absolutely not.
You know, as I age, so it's right for the picking for me. I like cheese and crackers, but I don't know. I don't think that I'm becoming lactose intolerant, or maybe I
Everybody's
am.
becoming lactose
But like,
intolerant.
I am becoming like lactose less tolerable. Like, if I have like too much dairy,
Eat a big bowl of ice cream.
Oh, I'm like bloated.
That's actually
so
a Sufjan
uncomfortable.
Stevens album, Lactose Less Tolerable.
Oh, nice.
No, it's not. I'm kidding. But it sounds like it could be.
It does sound like
But Dorothy, who like when I met in college would drink a glass of whole milk like a baby, she loves dairy, but I think she's becoming lactose intolerant and she's unwilling to accept it.
Humans are not made to drink cow's milk. That's just the fact of the matter.
But it is,
Oh, no.
but it is good though. I feel like there are a lot of things we're not made for, but
Right?
I love milk.
We don't
Yeah,
digest it.
I don't love milk. I like milk and stuff, but like
Well,
a
yeah.
glass of milk, I can't drink it. It's just it's too.
Almond milk is for me a totally fine substitute. Almond milk ice cream, oat milk ice cream is all
oat milk
fantastic
all
for
day.
me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try oat milk. I can't do almond milk. I've tried different. It's just.
I wouldn't like drink a glass of it, but I work at a coffee shop back home, and I'm putting oat milk in all my lattes.
Yeah. It's very creamy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like almond extract if it's like in cookies. Like when we were having our wedding cake made, like she kept trying to like stress that like it's traditional. I was like, lady, you're not paying. I wasn't paying either. Dorothy's family was, but don't put almond extract in our cake. I don't. I don't like marzipan. I don't. It's so gross.
Yeah.
I don't like almond cookies.
Oh,
Where do you
I
land
love
on?
it. I love all of it.
Ew.
I love almonds.
Marzipan in like small quantities. People will eat it like candy, and
Yeah.
that's wild.
I'd eat it like candy.
Whew.
Yeah.
Like if I eat something like the almond extract hits my tongue immediately, and
so good.
it's such an off-putting taste to me. I do not care for it.
I'm gonna have to go home and find some. I'm gonna have to go find some marzipan. I'm like have a hankering for it.
It is.
Like I could eat that. That's the kind of candy that I like.
So that's not candy.
Old people candy.
Exactly.
Do you eat Turkish delight, man?
Sounds good.
It's right up Ben's
or
alley.
black licorice. That is my kind of candy. Starburst. Oh, come on.
Dynamite, dude.
Yeah, you should
Skittles.
hang out with Ezra. Is very old man candy
Yeah,
too.
yeah, that's good.
My middle brother.
I am an old man, so this is how I roll.
There's got to be balance. I'm not gonna call myself immature. I got 3 kids. I'm almost 40, and I'm a successful career. So I'm not
Yeah.
immature, but I'll say this: I'm not a man child. I might be a little immature.
That is,
I'm not
that
even
is
going
an
to comment on
important
that.
distinction.
This has become the play episode. I think this should be
great.
known as the Under the Fig Tree play episode.
I'm
Next time
delighted.
we just need to like play a game while you're on. Yeah.
I'm here for it.
I would love that.
Yeah. Wouldn't that
Don't
be
challenge
fun?
me with a good time. Like I'll be there.
We could have. That would be fun to do a one-shot campaign and to do a
There
little
we go.
D&D on Under the Fig Tree.
I'd be down.
Then you
That'd be
can.
fun.
Then my brothers could join us.
Yeah.
I'd be
That
down.
would
Yeah.
be acceptable.
Zoom in.
All right, before we close out the episode, if you had to give one piece of advice for a listener who's thinking about a career in church work, deaconess, pastor, teacher, DCE,
Yeah.
or anything like that, what would that one piece of advice be?
See, part of me just wants to say, the Holy Spirit's going to get you here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can Jonah it all you want. I sure tried. But if this is where you're supposed to be, you're going to end up here. And in the long run, that will be a good thing.
Yeah.
This journey wasn't direct or easy, but now that I'm here, it's like, it's right.
Yeah. I'm sure it makes sense. I love the fact that you brought the Holy Spirit into the
Right.
conversation.
I've heard similar advice along those lines of I've never heard somebody say you can Jonah it. I like
Jonah as
the
a
use
verb.
of Jonah as a verb. I really like that. But bringing the Holy Spirit into that's really good advice. Trust the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Well, Lydia, thank you so much. Yeah, and this has been a great episode, a fun episode.
Yeah.
Such a great time. And if you're listening or watching on YouTube, and you yourself are thinking about a career in church work, but you've been joning it for the last couple months or years, don't join it too long, because the Holy Spirit's going to get you if he wants you. And fill out an RFI. There's a link in the description, and maybe now, because this will be the first time, there's a QR code here. No, I don't know where it's going to end up. It's probably like the whole screen that you can scan with your phone. That'll take you right to our request for information, so that we can find out who you are and have a conversation with you on the phone, so that you don't have to go through the discernment process alone, because the Holy Spirit was given to the church, to all of us who are baptized in the name of Jesus. And so, yeah, God expects us in the Spirit to have conversations to encourage and help each other through this process as he calls his laborers into his field. But also, if you're listening or watching and there's that person that you've always looked across the pew and said, man, they'd be a really good church worker, don't think too long. Make sure that you let the Holy Spirit's inspiration move through you and be that encouragement to the person, because you might be that person that gives them the little nudge that they need to consider a church work, to reach out to us and have them scan the QR code, if it's here or if it's the whole screen. It's new, this episode, so I'm excited. But yeah, reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you. And as always, thank you for joining us under the fig tree. We'll see you next time. Take care.